What's going on, everyone? You're back with your boy Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at how to graph points from a table of values. This is one of the foundational skills that we need to know in order to smash linear relationships. So the first skill that we need is we have to be able to plot points on a Cartesian plane. So the Cartesian plane is just like a number plane that goes up and across. So it's written like this: a bracket x, y, bracket. So the first number x results in how far across or horizontally does that number go, and the y means how far up and down. The way that I remember it is that x actually looks like a cross, as in it looks like a cross. So I need to know that that means going across the Cartesian plane. Y rhymes with sky, so I always think y to the sky, which means up or down. We're just going to have a really quick recap of this by labeling a few points that are on this Cartesian plane below. So for this one, each square is going to be 1. So this is going 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5. So if I'm looking at this first blue dot in this quadrant, I've gone across 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my first one. Always x across first. So I've gone across 4, and then to get to that blue point, I've gone up 3. So the coordinates of this point is 4, 3. And that's the major skill that we need to do. We'll have a look at these other ones. So instead of going across 4 for this next point, I go across 6, 7, 8. So I've gone 8 across and then down 2, meaning that this point is 8 down 2, 8, -2. We can have ones in this bottom quadrant here where we've got 2 negative numbers. I still have to go across first, so to get into it, I go across 1, 2, so I know I'm at -2, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this point here is -2, -6. Last one here, I've gone across 6, okay, so I know I've got -6 to start. That puts me at here, and then I go up 2, so the point here is -6 and 2. So if you're not all good with using this Cartesian plane, please have a practice before you move on, because it's going to make nailing linear relationships a little bit more difficult. So what we've got to be able to do is take a table of values, something that we looked at in the last lesson, and graph those points. This is really not too difficult because we always label the variables in the table. So here I've got my x points all labeled out and my y points all labeled out. The really important thing here is that if they're in a column, it means they are related exactly. So this one here, we've got -2 and 0, -1 and 2. So we can see the pattern pretty quickly. So we're going to fill it out for all those blank spots. Every time x goes up by 1, my y is going up by 2, so I can fill this in just by following that normal pattern. So once we've got this fully filled out table of values, I want you to think about the coordinates like kind of the key to a map, just the easiest treasure map ever. All you've got to do is look at it as directions from where we are to where we're going. You start in the middle or the origin, and then we move depending on what the x and y values are. So for this first one here, I've got x is -2, and directly underneath that, I've got 0. So here, I've got x is -2, y is 0. They are fully related, so the directions are go backwards 2, so -2, and then don't go up or down, which is 0. The next point there is -1, 2, so I go back 1 and up 2. And if you're following it in really kind of simple terms like this, where you're explaining it, you can't really make a mistake. So we're going to graph this example out, just following those directions. We're going to start all the way from this first x term. So it's telling me x is -2. So from the origin, or from this point here, I have to move backwards 2. So I move from here back 2 to there, and then because it's y equals 0, I don't go up or down. So that's this one done. Now for -1, 2, I move backwards to -1, and then I have to go up 2 boxes, 1, 2, And that's now my second point. You can label it each time, but we're not going to get into that just yet. For this next one, x is equal to 0. That means don't move off that original point. And I've got to go up 4 boxes, which puts me here. You can kind of see where this is going. These 3 are already in a straight line, so you can probably work out what's going to happen, but we're just going to fill them in just in case. So when x is equal to 1, we've got to move to the right 1 place. So we get to here, and then we move up 6 places, which puts us here. The next one across, 2, 8. So we go across 2, up 8, and then 3, 10. For that last one, I don't have a big enough graph, but you can see exactly where it's going. So you might be able to see something very easy with these linear relationships. It just looks like it's a straight line. And that's always going to happen. Because we're saying it's a direct relationship, when x moves, y moves in the same fashion always, this pattern's just going to repeat itself for every single linear relationship you get. So the big pro tip is linear actually means straight line. So if there's any bends in your graph, it means you've placed one of your points incorrectly. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you later.